Fucking hate that. Okay, let's try this again. Hello everyone, and welcome back to my next big project. Starting off with Final Fantasy 1. From the Final Fantasy 1 and 2 Dawn of Souls pack. So what I'm gonna be doing is, since I've already played for Final Fantasy 3 and people really like that, and I really like that Let's Play too, I think it was probably one of my better Let's Plays, even though it was from the time where I still fucking hated my voice. I still kind of do. I thought, hey, let's just play all the Final Fantasy games. So we're gonna do just that, and obviously we're gonna start with Final Fantasy 1, then we're gonna do 2, and obviously we're gonna skip Final Fantasy 3. I've already done that. The special part about Final Fantasy 1, and I think 2 as well, is that you get to actually choose all your characters from the very start what their job will be, which I don't think you can quite do in the other ones. You usually start with a base job, and then you have to get a specific job unlocked through the story or something, and then you can use it, something like that. So I'm gonna give these guys some names, and maybe you can kind of figure out why I'm giving them these names, because they're gonna be some insiders, let's call it that, from Final Fantasy. And if you know what all these names are references to, then feel free to tell me in the comments and I'll see if you're right. And the last one is this one. Okay. So we're starting off with Leon, Strife, Butts, and Tina. We have a warrior, a monk, a red mage, and a black mage. We do not have a full dedicated healer like a white mage, because I don't think you quite actually need that. So we're just gonna hop right in. And I'm playing the Game Boy Advance version of this game, which pretty much the mechanics of the game are pretty much the same, but it's got newer graphics, so I think it's probably better that way. So yeah, that's it for differences. I think there's actually some bonus dungeons as well, and I think some of the intros like this might be different. I'm not sure. I think I played this back in the day on the NES. Well, on an NES emulator, not on the actual NES. I'm not that old. But that was so long ago, I probably can't remember all the actual differences. I do know there's some other versions of this game for PS1 and 2 that had things like actual full motion video, which this obviously doesn't. I'm not quite sure which one of the versions is like the best version, but I don't really think it matters, to be honest. So yeah, I'm just gonna take this version because I think this is like the easiest for me to play, and I can do save states like this. Woo. But I'm probably not gonna use them. So, if you don't know the story behind Final Fantasy, and I mean the story behind the game, not the actual story within the game, basically, at some point Squaresoft, or were they just called Square at that point? I don't even know. They had this problem where like, oh shit, our games are not selling too well, and we only got enough like money for one more game, and then they were like, okay, or was it even one guy, not just the entirety of Square, whatever. They were like, okay, let's do one more game. It's gonna be like our Final Fantasy. And then they made the game, and then it turns out that was actually pretty good. And then they made a second one. That one wasn't that good, at least in my opinion, but they were still able to make more games, and now, quite some time later, we are waiting for the release of Final Fantasy 15. Yeah. They really don't know what the word final means, I guess. So, for the actual in-game story, it started off really simple. You're just some, like, prophecy guys. Because there's like this prophecy that he's reciting right here, and we're like the warriors of light. and we have come to save everyone apparently because we've got these crystals. There's not really too much story to this. It's just like, okay, this is the way it is. Now let's go out and kill some shit. That's pretty much everything that's happening right now. I'm gonna actually speed up the text a little bit because it's not actually too much important stuff. For the most part, a lot of the text in the first few Final Fantasies is just people telling you where to go. And then maybe they drop like 1 or 2 lines on a story, so there's not, I don't think there's too much important stuff in these texts, so I'm gonna be skipping through a lot of these. We're not skipping them as in you can't read them. You can still probably read them, but I'm not gonna sit there and read them out or something like that, or I'm not gonna like go into detail too much, because really most of the time they do just tell you where to go. Or this happened, now do that. So he's just telling me that his daughter, like the princess or something, Sarah, has been kidnapped by this guy Garland, so we're gonna go after that guy and prove ourselves to be heroes by rescuing her. Now what's the first thing you ever do when you're starting a new adventure in Final Fantasy? Go into the fucking menu and make sure everything is set up correctly. Oh, that's good. Okay. That's what we want to see. That was just a test file I did. Look. I don't actually need to save like this because I've got save states. Woohoo. So, since Final Fantasy 1 drops you in the game right away and you start off with 500 gil as well, you can just go around and buy some stuff right away. So, something about when I did my Final Fantasy 3 Let's Play, I had a fucking monk in my party and everyone told me, dude, unequip the monk's weapon, he does more damage. I mean, look at this. It's true, he does more damage from starting equipment if I remove this. However, this does not take into account having good weapons. If you have really good weapons, like this nunchaku for example, oh, then suddenly it actually does more damage. So fuck off, all the guys that told me back in my Let's Play to, oh, just attacking with his fist. Yeah, of course there were some places in that Let's Play where fist would have done more damage, but not at every single point in the Let's Play. And it's gonna be similar in here. There's gonna be times where actual, look at this, where actual weapons do more damage. And that's not gonna change. And here the staff actually does 1 more damage but has less accuracy, which means I do less hits, and less hits means less damage overall. So it's not quite worth it, but it's worth it for all the other stuff to do it. So this is my starting equipment, but it's not quite done yet because we have so much gold actually compared to how much stuff this actually costs. So we can get some 2 of these chainmails, I guess, and 1 leather armor. I think now I'm just gonna buy a ton of spells, maybe? Oh, they can also use this optimal right here. Optimal. Actually says staff right here, but it's not quite true, it's actually this. And that's it for the starting equipment, though you can buy some... oh my god, you can buy some magic as well. The special part about this magic system is... it's a bit similar to some of the magic systems that they use in like 2 and 3, I think? Where there's specific levels of magic. And depending on how powerful your guy is, the more levels you unlock. And each level has 4 spells that are available. However, you can only get 3 of these spells at once, and you can't change them once you've gotten them. So, for example, there's 4 black magics, but I have to decide, but one guy can only carry 3 magics, and my red mage can get black magic and white magic, which means I'm gonna have to be doubly careful about what I actually give him. So my black mage I'm gonna give fire and thunder, I guess. I don't really care about any of the other stuff. I'm just not gonna use it. It's as simple as that. I'm not like, there's a ton of spells that are useful, but I just don't like using them. So we definitely need Q. There's no way around that. We also should get... yeah, I think that's actually about it for that. I'm gonna get my red mage some fire and thunder as well. We actually have just enough money for that. Now we still have 50 gil left. Well, 56, but come on. I could actually sell some of my old stuff, which I probably should. Now this is actually something that, by the way, what I'm doing right now, all this menuing stuff, don't worry, you're not gonna see too much of it. It's just that for some reason they decided that they give you so much money and a shop at the very first fucking town in the game, so that as soon as you start off the game, you're immediately going shopping. That's just what they decided they thought was good at that time. I not really am that much of a fan, but yeah, I guess that's what they decided was good. So something else that I'm gonna have to talk about the game right now. I'm gonna show you the combat, which should happen any second now. Combat. So basic standard turn-based combat. You select a guy, you select the target, and then you just go ahead and kill some shit. It's not really too much special stuff. I think I can actually kill these with regular attacks as well. They have about 10 HP, most of the guys should be able to deal more than that damage, even my Black Mage. In most cases. He only had one hit there, but especially after the first level up he should be getting 2 hits on that, and that should be above the required 10 damage. Now, as you can see, it is fairly basics. We can attack, we have magic, we have defend, we have item, we have equip. I think we can, for one, remove stuff, and I think there's also, or switch out to other items within the fight if we need to. And I think, by the way, oh yeah, I can't actually defend, I just noticed that. Trying to press left and right doesn't work. Unless, no, none of the other buttons do anything. So yeah, so I think some items might also be, like equip items also be usable, but I'm not quite sure that. I know there's some Final Fantasies later on where you have like a staff, and if you use the staff as an item within the fight, it actually like uses a spell or something like that. So I also have a fast forward button like this, but I'm not going to use that one very often until I have like some really weird stuff happening where I really want to fast forward something. But it's probably not going to happen. So are we pretty much done with combat? Intro, not quite. I think, yeah, you can also flee items, obviously. Now, I told you about the magic. I'm not quite sure when you unlock more magic. It might be by level, it might be by story. I'm not quite sure. So when you gain level, it tells you, or it shows you how all the fucking stats increase, and you have to go through all of that. Now, after the very first level, you notice that a lot of your guys, like your tanky guys, the warrior and the monk, got a ton more HP, like a ton more HP. And I think next level, the other guys are gonna get a ton more HP as well. So yeah, that's something that happens. Now I'm gonna just very quickly go rest and heal up, because I think we've done enough at the start that we can go ahead and try and fight the first boss. We're almost at the 10-minute mark, so I think that should be good. So what I'm going to be doing in this Let's Play is, when it comes to grinding, since this is one of the older RPGs where grinding was just something common that was part of the game, and if you had to grind in order to continue the game, that was totally normal. So what I'm going to be doing is, actually first let me try out fleeing. Doesn't seem to be that nice when it comes to fleeing. I might as well just kill them. Okay. I haven't never actually tested fleeing, so I wasn't quite sure. Oh, and then I got ambushed. In a situation like this where I can fast forward a little bit like that, so you don't fall asleep, because this game does have some fairly slow stuff. So fast forwarding like this, bloop, 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 bloop. I mean, it's very obvious what's happening. But you don't have to worry about me fast forwarding too much, because what I'm going to be doing is, like I said, since grinding really is part of the game, but you don't want to see me grinding, I assume. I don't think you want to sit there all fucking day watching me grind for like fucking hours. So what I'm going to do is, between parts, I'm just going to go ahead and grind just a little bit. Oh, they only have 9 HP actually. So between parts, I'm not even going to have to tell you this between every single part, but yeah, I will be grinding, and I will be a little bit stronger each time, just to make sure that I don't have to grind on camera, because grinding on camera is something that I want to avoid as much as possible. Because obviously that's not very fun. And that also means that I could just go from one place to the next without having to worry too much about anything too special. Now I want to go over here and grab a leather cap. Not that I need it, but it's nice to have. We're gonna give it to this guy because he's got shit all on him. And that's pretty much about that. We can go to the first boss now. We can maybe use some magic here. Oh, this costs 5. It's actually quite a lot. Whatever, we still use it anyway. Each guy, like enemy, also has their own like weaknesses and shit, but I'm not quite sure what they are. So I usually just do stuff and see what happens. Don't kill the guy. Oh, okay. Woo! And he's dead. Now, since I got level 3 is usually what you want to have for the first boss. But that also means that my guys are gonna have a lot more HP now, which is good. If I find another guy, maybe I'll flee, maybe I'll be able to run around them. Oh, whatever. No, it's right there. Preempt the strike. Oh, that's nice. Most of these enemies, they don't really do too much, especially if you're level 3, then you can just walk right through them. And here we come to the first boss, very important boss. And he's blabbering about how he wants to like rule stuff because he's evil and shit. But obviously we won't have that, so we're just gonna like just fight him and kill him, obviously. Garland. What a guy. So this guy pretty straightforward. We're just gonna actually I don't want to cure because otherwise I might not have enough stuff left. We're just gonna use the most powerful shit while keeping something free to cure if I have to. And he should be going down like 2 or 3 rounds. He doesn't really have that much health. And my warrior just only hit once, isn't that great? Maybe I should actually fire because he's probably gonna die and I probably won't be able to heal if he like kills my squishy dudes anyway. One hit again. Come on, dude. It's probably about dead. No. Surely now he's gonna die. So yeah, the first boss is not really much happening. He's just sort of like standing there, normal attacking you, and then he just dies. So this is not even a boss. It's just like an amped up normal dude, I guess. But yeah, that was kind of that. So now that happened, what's gonna happen next? I guess. I fucking suck at this. Why am I even making Let's Plays? Anyway, see you guys next time.